Great. So today I'm being joined by Andy Bruce. Hi, Andy.
Yeah, hi Andrew.
So we're going to be talking about the AI Business Summit, which is on the 28th of September at Henley Business School. And Andy's going to be showing some really exciting AI applications in some large corporates in operations and in improving access to data outside the business, Andy. So great. Could you kick off by introducing yourself and tell us a little bit about Soft Tools, your business, please?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. So Andy Bruce, I'm one of the co-founders of Soft Tools many years ago now, 20 years or so ago, essentially tasked with codifying best practices and building it into the DNA of the business based on the back of the consulting work we were doing. But really, for the last 10 years, it's just been using modern web applications to enable that to happen. More recently, we've been obviously pulled into the whole world of AI, and that's pretty much turned our lives upside down, but very exciting, both in terms of how we're using AI internally in the business, but also how that's feeding into the solutions we're now building for clients.
Great. So you're building on 20 plus years of, no code, simple process improvement, and I've known you for that over the years. So really excited about the AI context now. So could you give us a bit of an overview of where AI now fits in operational excellence and your sort of other use of IT and that the businesses use?
Yeah, definitely. I think for many companies right at the moment, they are like rabbits in the headlights. They know they need to do AI. They're just not sure what it is, what technology it is, and fits into their business, how that fits into their core processes. And I've got a simple model here I can just share, just to try and put it in context of the overall model. So if I can just pull this up and just share this with you. I think the starting point for organizations, in fact, not the AI, not the technology itself, but actually the business problem, the business process that we're trying to optimize. And the problem for many organizations is that the process isn't yet digitized. And how can you apply an AI model to a process that's running on bits of paper or an Excel or perhaps on a legacy system where you can't access it via APIs? And so as we look at this simple model, it says step one, in fact, is to identify those core processes that we can't yet get access to the data, digitize it and build it into our ways of working. And then let's look at some of the emerging advanced AI technologies like ChatGPT-4 that everybody's heard of. But really, there's dozens of new AI tech coming from some of the world's biggest organizations. And that's changing almost on a week-to-week basis. Finally, having done that, having digitized the data, then we need to make sure we can integrate it with the enterprise systems to get that one view of all the data across the business.
Great. So you've worked with large corporates, and you're one of them that you've got case studies, and that on is Coca-Cola and their bottling operations, which is quite an organization which is spread out because they're not all owned by Coca-Cola. These are different organizations, and you're bringing that sort of data. So using that previous image, you've got Excel spreadsheets, you've got data, you've got systems from different organizations, and you've worked with them for some time in bringing those together. It'd be great if you could talk through a case study now of how you've used AI to work through and enhance their process, Andy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've been working with Coca-Cola for the last 10 years or so, bottlers all over the world. They are unique organizations, but they all face the same challenges. And I think a number of the challenges in this space of AI that Coca-Cola face are the same as any large organization, trying to understand what is it, how should we use it. I think for me, the initial work we've been doing identifies that there are 5 key areas in the initial phases of most deployments that we come across all the time. I think the first one, which people relate to, is the question about data completeness and data cleansing. So we're trying to apply an AI model to an organization, but actually we find that there's a lot of records where data is incomplete, it's missing, or it's wrong. And so AI can be used to solve that first problem. So can we use current metadata and apply it to the last 5 years of data? Yeah, absolutely we can. And we find that data classification is more accurate at using AI models that have been trained than with humans doing it. But it's also a job that would take a human forever, whereas we can do it in just a few days using AI. So I think that's the first thing. Let's get our data in shape, it's complete, and it's good, high quality data. Then the second thing is, then let's find the gold nuggets in that data. So we've now got perhaps 300,000-400,000 records. And in the case of Coca-Cola in Japan, it's focused on their Kaizen process, their continuous improvement progress, but now it also links with digital transformation. You might have 200 plants. Somebody comes up with a great idea. Nobody else used to get to hear about it. So what AI is now allowing us to do is to, first of all, make sure that all these ideas have great classification. But secondly, then we have advanced search capability that allows us to find records that might be relevant to the problem I'm currently trying to solve. Just as a simple example of that, if we've got a targeting to improve our utilization of forklift trucks, we find that some people will call them forklift trucks, others will call them lifters, and others call them something else altogether. So traditional search will never find those records, but using advanced AI search, they just come up all the time with a percentage fit against each of those. So really exciting, because now we've got the data in great shape and we're now starting to find it, but then most importantly, we replicate it across the business. Replication means that an idea that might be worth perhaps $5,000 in one particular plant, if we can then extend that, replicate that across 100 plants, then suddenly we've got £500,000 worth of saving or more. So it's having a dramatic impact on the operational efficiency of that business. Then just to give 3 other simple examples of where AI can be extended, we may want to do a search on a particular area. For example, all the ideas relating to carbon footprint reduction in a warehouse. We may come up with 100 ideas that have been generated across the business internally. The execs won't read that. So we've done our job, but actually what they want is they just want a 2-line summary. So we can use AI to provide a simple summary. And for me, the most amazing thing about those summaries is that raw data can go in Japanese or any language, and we can pull it out in pure English, and it's English better than I write. So it's very reasonable and very easy. So the execs are looking for that high-level summary. But of course, the people down on the ground are looking to say, well, give me these solutions and tell me how I implement them. So again, AI kicks in again, and we then apply a different model now to create an implementation plan that takes the top 5 ideas, so information that's pulled from within the business, and combines that with external best practices in the area of project management to create a simple 10-point plan. And that can then be replicated across the plant. So it's enabling us to push out improvements very quickly, very simply, and effectively those become the new policy documents. And the final thing, which I guess is where most people start with, is not necessarily looking at internal data, but actually it's then going out into the web and saying, look, give me some ideas for this. So carbon footprint reduction in a warehouse facility, and using tools like GPT-4 to look external to the business. And that can be combined with our internal ideas, really, to give us a very rich and deep set of ideas. I mean, that does create some questions for some people. They don't want people to stop thinking. And so often when we look at those external ideas, sometimes they are brought in as potential ideas, but other times, actually, it's just a fantastic way of educating people. I know nothing about removing or carbon footprint reduction in warehousing. You press that button, and suddenly the application is now teaching me all about it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I was really, you showed me a short demo, and you're going to be doing at the AI for Business Summit a demo, and people can have a bit of hands-on of a system and that you've got. And when you talked through that I was so impressed. It was a bit of a wow moment for me, like when I first saw ChatGPT a number of months ago. When I saw it in an operation that you showed there, those stages of being able to cleanse hundreds of thousands of data records, as you sort of said, from pretty unstructured information that you're able to categorize it about warehouse and forklift trucks and environmental improvement, and sort of bringing all that sort of together in stuff you wouldn't have classified previously. And then that output, I was like, oh, wow, an operator anywhere in the country, any part of the operation, and it's very much in context for them. It's not, or you have to go away in a day's course to learn about environmental sort of type aspects or things that aren't relevant. It's very focused on your business, your site, and also brings in insights from other parts of the organization where things have been successful. And I think this, how business models are going to change with AI, I think is demonstrated really well by that sort of example that you're giving there on putting those different bits of the chain together, as you illustrated. Thanks.
Yes, yeah. And I think those 5 basic building blocks will apply to any organization. But obviously on top of that, then you have situation or process specific models, and they may need to be built from scratch, but they can be linked in, no problem. But again, bring it back to where we started. I think the key thing is get the core processes digitized, and they will stand there. But AI models may be plugged in or pulled out on a regular basis, so they become almost a commodity in the future. But it is changing so quickly. But the core process won't. And let's just see how we use AI and be flexible in terms of how it evolves.
Yeah. Well, certainly at the summit, we're going to see, applications in retail. We'll see applications in other sectors, and I very much agree that these sort of solutions and use of AI is going to be applicable across lots of different industries, and we're going to have to look at operational changes and sort of things like that. So, thanks very much, Andy, for your insights, and we look forward to seeing you on the 28th of September.
Yeah, it'll be very exciting.